to talk about how to get funding for your sewing business. And the topic is inspired by a message I received from someone in the Ingenious Sewing Professionals Facebook group asking exactly that. She said, I've got a sewing business and I would love to move to a different part of town, to a better location. And she had a beautiful project of training fashion designers and expanding her business. The only thing that was missing was the money to do it all. So she said she asked friends and family and they wouldn't give her any money, and she was a bit of at a loss of how to go about it. Now, just a note before I start giving my take on it, if you expect me to come up with a phone number or some organization to ring where easy money would be handed out, then you might as well turn off now and go somewhere else. But I'm going to share a mindset shift that will help you no matter where you go to ask for funding. Now, there's normally most people will start with friends and family because they already know you, they trust you, you sort of expect they should and would support you. And there's also local chambers of commerce, and you might also want to check out what government programs are available. Often, especially around election time, there'll be some initiative that might target women entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs under 30 or over 50 or first-time entrepreneurs or whatever. Just read through your research and find out what's available and see whether you're eligible. Now, no matter where you go to look for funding, the one thing to keep in mind is that nobody, not even your mom, will just give you money. Money is a tool to exchange value, and that's easy to forget sometimes. It's whoever funds your project will need to see some sort of return on investment. Nobody, no matter how much or how little somebody has, will just give money for the sake of it. There's always the expectation of some return on investment, and that can be financial, like a bank will give a loan so that you can pay back with interest, and that's how they make their money. And it can be something other than money, like a famous designer will donate a gown to a famous actress to wear at the Oscars. So, well, no, she doesn't pay for the dress, but the designer expects his prestige to go up, and as a result, more people to buy his dresses as a result of that investment. And and sometimes even parents might want to free themselves from some guilt for not having been around much when you were little, to sort of buy themselves free. So there's got to be a return on investment, and whatever the funding is, it'll be an investment, and it's your job to help your potential funder see that. What is in there for you? If you give me that money, this is what's in there for you. And if that's attractive to them, not to you, to them, then you have a base for negotiation. Now, the point is the value is determined by the person buying. So basically you're selling something. And that takes me to the next part of the equation. It's very hard or virtually impossible to sell an idea. People don't tend to invest in ideas because an idea is just a bit of hot air until you actually take action and turn it into something, until you make something with it. And most people, banks, whatever organizations, your mum will be reluctant to invest in an idea. You can see that really clearly if you, where you live, there's a program like Shark Tank, or I don't know what they're called in other parts of the world, but basically where people with a business idea go and present their idea to a panel of investors, and if they can see the potential in it, they might decide to invest it in return for a part of the of the profits, or they become partners, you know, and you'll see they're not going to invest in an idea. They want the person to have already created something. So, and that takes me to the third part. In order to create enough for somebody to believe that what we're talking about is more than just a bit of hot air and a fluffy idea, you need to create it with what you've got. Like, call it bootstrapping, you know? So what can you do with what you already have available? Skills, resources, money, whatever you have access to right now. What's the next step you can take? Like, for an example, I bootstrapped my whole thing. Like, nobody gave me a cent, right? So I started with my little domestic machine, cutting on the dining table, my domestic iron, and with the first big order, I, you know, bought the first industrial machine, and with the next big order, I bought the next thing, and so I expanded from there. And so that's a slower way to go about it, but it saves you a lot of time and energy trying to find somebody to fund you. So initially, you might want to look there first, and then when you have enough to have something to offer to a potential investor, then you can go and present an idea that may well be attractive to them. So yeah, let me share whether that's relevant to you and whether that makes sense to you. And if you've gotten funding, if you've asked for funding, go ahead, share your experience. And so yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you again soon.